Welcome to second session of module 4. This PPT has been prepared by referring many sources from the internet, notes as well as the textbooks, and I claim that this is exclusively used for the purpose of the education and not for any financial gains. Let us continue our discussion on some of the examples of comparison of alternatives. In the previous session, we had the discussion on some of the examples of present worth of comparison of alternatives. In this session, we shall try to discuss how present worth method can be used to compare the alternatives. Let us consider the first example, whatever we have discussed during present worth comparison of alternatives, that is the purchase of a concrete mixer. Okay, and let us see the data given. The initial purchase cost of 3 lakhs, annual main operating and maintenance cost of 20,000, salvage value of 1,25,000, the useful life of 5 years. Alternative 2 has initial cost of 2 lakhs, annual maintenance and operating cost of 35,000, salvage value of 70,000, and useful life of 5 years. We will compare the alternatives based on the future worth method. As usual, the procedure, whether we follow the future worth method or the present worth method or the annual worth method, procedure remains the same. First we have to draw the cash flow diagram. So cash flow diagram, there won't be any change because the assumptions that we make, whether the cash flows, type of the cash flows, they cannot change just for the method has changed. So cash flow diagram will remain the same. So the initial purchase cost will come at t is equal to 0, that is that rupees 3 lakh will be indicated at t is equal to 0. Annual maintenance cost, that is A, will be indicated for 5 years, year end of year payments, and the salvage value will be indicated at the end of year 5 because that is the resale value and it gives us money, so it is positive flow. So future worth, how do we calculate the future worth? We convert every cash flow into its future worth. That is the basic rule of future worth comparison of alternatives. In present worth comparison of alternatives, what did we do? We converted every cash flow into its present worth at t is equal to 0. Right? In future worth comparison of alternatives, what we do is we convert every cash flow into its future worth, that is at t is equal to n, that is the last year of the timeline. In this case, we convert every cash flow to its future worth at t is equal to 5. First, let us consider this 3 lakh rupees. What is this? This is P. P has to be converted into F using the factor F by P. That is, I am converting P into F at a rate of interest of 10%, and N will be 5 because the gap between 3 lakh and N is 5. So I am converting this 3 lakh to a compounded sum at the end of year 5. In the present worth, we were calculating the discounted amount. In future worth, we calculate the compounded amount. That's all the difference between present worth and future worth comparison of alternatives. So 3 lakh is over. Next we will come to this 20,000. This 20,000, I know that this is annual worth A. A has to be converted into F using the factor F by A. For at I is equal to 10% and for N is equal to 5, because there are 5 number of cash flows, 5 number of payments. And then this last one, 1,25,000 salvage value. What is this salvage value? That is already F. So there is no need for any further conversion. We will retain it as F. So this is how it is done. Just to compare these things with present worth, we were retaining the present worth and converting all other to present worth. Here we are retaining the future worth if we have any flow at the end, and converting every other cash flow to future worth. Okay. Now we will substitute the values from the factor table and get the answer 480,400. And it is negative because it is cost. Let us come to the second alternative. Okay, before we go to second alternative, let us calculate or let us consider the second method of calculating the future worth. How do we calculate the future worth? It can also be calculated using the calculation of present worth. If you are already well versed with conversion of every cash flow to present worth, as a first step, you calculate the present worth of the entire cash flow. Okay, which we have already done. For example, we calculated the present worth of the entire cash flow in our first example, and it came out to be minus 298,207 from example 1. Okay, now what do? I convert the last amount, that is the final present worth, to its future worth using the factor F by P. See here, I have done PW1 multiplied by F by P comma 10 comma 5. What is PW1 present worth 1? How much was that? 298,207. That's what I have indicated here. Multiplied by F by P comma 10 comma 5, because I need to get the compounded amount at the end of year 5. That's why N is equal to 5. Get the value from the factor table. I get the answer as 480,411. Almost similar to that of this answer. See here, we can use any of these two methods. Either convert each and every cash flow individually to its future worth and get the total compounded amount, or else convert every cash flow into its present worth and then convert the final present worth to its future worth using the factor F by P. Any of these two methods can be followed. Now let us consider the alternative 2. The initial cost of 2 lakh rupees, indicate that t is equal to 0. Annual maintenance and operating cost of rupees 35,000. It is A, since it is cost below the horizontal line for 5 years. And then the salvage value of rupees 70,000. It is a positive cash flow which will appear at N is equal to 5, T is equal to 5. Okay. Now let us convert each cash into its future worth. Minus 2 lakh into F by P comma 10 comma 5, because 2 lakh is present worth, so convert that P into F multiplied by for n number of years, that is 5. So then 35,000 is A, convert that into F using the factor F by A. Since there are 5 number of flows, N will be 5. and finally 70,000. It is already F, so there is no need for any further conversion. Substitute the values from the factor table. We will get it as minus 465,875. Let us solve this method using the second type. How do we do that? We have already calculated the present worth, right? How much did we get? We got 289,222 from our previous example. If you refer to first session, you will get this answer. Now use the factor F by P to convert this 289,222 into its future worth. FW2 is equal to PW2 multiplied by F by P comma 10 comma 5. 1.611. Get the value from the factor table. Finally solve the problem and we get it as 465,936. 465,875, 465,936. Little bit difference will be there, of course. That is acceptable. Okay. So here also we can get it as minus 465,936, which is almost similar to the value when we followed the first method. So it's an indication that either you can use the first method wherein you can convert the compounded amount of each and every cash flow, or you calculate the discounted amount of at t is equal to 0, that is convert everything into its present worth and finally get the compounded amount at the end of the timeline. So both are acceptable, both of them can be followed. Any of these two methods can be followed. So I can see that alternative 2 can be selected because it shows the lesser cost or lesser burden on the investor. So our decision is also not altered. Whatever the decision we had following the present worth comparison of alternatives, wherein alternative 2 was selected because it had yielded lesser cost to me. In future worth comparison of alternative also, we conclude in the same way. Here also the cost of the alternative 2 is better when compared to alternative 1. Hence the burden on the investor is lesser. That's why we select the alternative 2. Let us go to next example. There are two alternatives for a construction firm to purchase industrial machinery, and these are the cost associated with it. Alternative 1 and 2. What is required is we need to calculate calculate the individual future worth, and based on the future worth comparison of alternatives, I need to come to a conclusion which alternative is preferred. At an interest rate of 9.5%, that is the only difference here. Normally they used to give us 9%, 10%. Here they have given it as 9.5%. Whenever you give such an interim value, again you can follow two methods. Okay, this is the alternative 1. Initial purchase cost of 15 lakhs, annual operating cost of 35,000, starting from the end of year 2. For the first year it is negligible, so it starts from second year. There is no maintenance cost or operating cost during the first year. Annual revenue to be generated is rupees 3,40,000 for first 4 years, and then 3,20,000 afterwards. Let us see how the cash flow diagram appears. Okay. First, let us analyze the initial purchase cost of 15 lakh rupees. obviously it will appear at t is equal to 0, negative, because it's a purchase cost. Then annual operating cost of rupees 35,000 starting from the end of year 2. So there is no operating cost at t is equal to 1, that you can see. It starts from t is equal to 2. Revenue to be generated, indicated as say 35,000, it is done. So 35,000, it is done. Then annual revenue to be generated 3,40,000 for first 4 years. See here, for first 4 years, 1 2 3 4, for first 4 years the revenue is 3,40,000. Afterwards, till the end of its useful life, it is 3,20,000. So next 5 6 7 8, useful life given is 8 years. So for next 4 years it is 3,20,000. Indicate that. Revenue means it's positive because it is the income. And finally the salvage value of 4,30,000, it is should be at the end of the its lifetime, that is at t is equal to 8. So this is the cash flow diagram. Let us solve the problem now. P is equal to 15 lakh, A1 is equal to 35,000, A2 is equal to 3,40,000, A3 is equal to 3,20,000, and F or S is equal to 4,30,000. Okay. First, what shall we do? First, let us convert everything into their FW. I have already mentioned that either you can follow this method of converting every cash flow into its FW, or you can also use the alternative method of converting every cash flow into its present worth, and then finally converting that last present worth to its future worth using the factor F by P. That is also acceptable. So let us convert every cash flow into its future worth. First, let us take one by one. Let us take this 15 lakh. 15 lakh is P. Convert that P into F using the factor F by P, comma 9.5%, comma 8. For example, if you do not have this 9.5% in your factor table, you can take an interim value between 9 and 10. That is permitted, or else you can use the formula. You can use the formula to solve this problem. If you still want to use the factor table, you have the value at 9%, you have the value at 10%. You take the interim value between these two, you can solve the problem. Then 35,000, it is A, there is no problem with it. Convert that into F using the factor F by A, comma 9.5, comma 7. Why it is 7 here? Because there are only 7 flows. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That's what I always tell you. Whenever you get A into picture, count the number of flows. Don't go by the timeline. Okay, there are 7 flows for this annual operating cost, hence n will be 7 here. Next comes the tricky part. 3,40,000, the first income. So now we have converted the present worth and the operating cost. Now let us come to the third cash flow, that is 3,40,000. How is it? 3,40,000 is in between the timeline. It is not continuously flowing. If you remember the derivation of A and F, there we had very clearly indicated the cash flow will start from the first year and will go up to the nth year, and F will be calculated as on nth year, and there will be a cash flow on the nth year also. There will be a flow of A on nth year also. For that cash flow diagram, we use the factor F by A or A by F. In this case, see 3,40,000, it starts from first year, but it doesn't go up to 8th year. Since it doesn't go up to 8th year, I cannot use the factor f by a straight away. Either I have to convert this into p and then to its f, or even if I convert this 1 2 3 4 3,40,000 flow into f, its f will be situated at t is equal to 4 only here. It won't be situated at t is equal to 8. Hence, better way is that convert this 3,40,000 into its p at t is equal to 0, and then that money can be converted into its f at t is equal to 8. That's what I have done here. 3,40,000. First convert that into p using the factor p by a. A gets converted into p. What will be n here? Count the number of flows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So n will be 4. Then f by p comma 9.5 comma 8, because you have to get a compounded value at the end of year 8. That's why n will be 8 here. Is that point clear? So whenever you get a in between the timeline, if it is not uniformly spread, then you cannot use the factor f by a straight away. While this cost, even though it did not start from the year 1, but its flow was continuous up to the end. That's why I could directly use the factor f by a with n as 7, because it started from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th as well. There was a flow. That's why I could straight away use the factor f by a, but not for this 3,40,000, because there is no flow continuously till the end. That's why I convert that into p first, and then that p to f at the end of year 8 using the factor f by p. So this 3,30,000 has been converted. Now what remains? 33,20,000 remains. Now let us see whether it is flowing till the end. See here, it starts from 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It flows till the end. So whenever we have a cash flow flowing till the end continuously, even if it starts at the middle, then f by a can be applied. So I can straight away apply f by a for this to convert this a into f. But what should be n? Count the number of flows. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 flows, and hence n will be 4 here. See here. That's why I use the factor f by a comma 9.5% comma 4, n as 4. And what else remains? 3,22,000 is over. Put a tick mark. What else remains? The salvage value of 4,30,000 remains. What is that? It is already f. Retain it as f. That's all. So my conversion is done. Get the values from the factor tables. Substitute that. We get the answer as 728,849 positive flow. Let us get into the second alternative. What it has initial purchase cost of 18 lakhs, annual operating cost of 25,000, revenue 3,65,000, salvage value 5,50,000. It's very simple, so there is no complexity in this one. So how does it look? Very simple. Initial cost of 18 lakh, operating costs of 25,000, negative for 8 years. There is no ambiguity. Starts from first year, goes up to 8 years. Revenue also starts from first year, goes up to 8th year, and the salvage value 5,50,000. So it's very simple. Let us solve it. P initial cost should be assigned P, and this is A1 25,000, this is A2 3,65,000, and this is salvage value S or F, future amount. First, let us convert this P into F using the factor F by P. It is at a distance of 8 years, so N will be 8, and 25,000. There is no confusion over here because it starts from first year, goes up to 8th year. So whatever the assumption we had for the derivation of between A and F, the same assumption holds good here as well. So the flow, there is a flow at the end of year 8, and I need F at the end of year 8 only. So I can straight away use the factor F by A comma 9 comma 5 comma 8. The same thing, same argument holds good for this revenue as well. And 5,50,000, it's already F. Retain it as F. Substitute the values from the factor table, and we get TFW2 as 647,848. So which is better? We can see that alternative 1 has a better positive value compared to alternative 2, and hence alternative 1 will be selected. This is what you need to conclude. Again, I am telling this last sentence, if you do not add, you will lose 1 mark. So you, without fail, you add this last sentence. That is the answer that you are giving for the question. Now let us analyze the capitalized cost situation. What is a capitalized cost? It represents the present worth of an alternative for a project that is going to serve for a longer period of time. That means n here tends to infinity. For example, dams, buildings, bridges. See, these are all the uh, assets which are assumed to last forever, goes up to infinity. Even the factories, they are all assumed to last for a very long time, and hence here n tends to infinity. Okay, the present worth of a uniform amount series is given by, we know that P is equal to A into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 divided by I into 1 plus I to the power of n. We have already derived this formula. Okay, and now I can alter this like this: P is equal to A by I into 1 plus I to the power of n divided by 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 divided by 1 plus I to the power of n. And I can write it as P is equal to A by I multiplied by 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus I to the power of n. Now when n approaches infinity, when n tends to infinity, substitute the value n as infinity. So what it will be? It will be P is equal to A by I multiplied by 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus I to the power of infinity. Anything that rises to infinity is infinity. 1 divided by infinity has no value, that means it is indeterminate. So that becomes 0. So 1 minus 0 is 0. So the bracketed factor gets cancelled. When you substitute n with infinity, this bracketed factor gets nullifies, and the entire factor gets to just P is equal to A by I. That means P is equal to A multiplied by 1 by I. This entire bracketed factor will become just 1 by I. So whenever we have capitalized cost analysis, or whenever we deal with an asset that lasts forever, the conversion factor is P is equal to A into 1 divided by I. And the capitalized cost is given by initial cost, that is P, plus annual cost divided by I. Let us take an example. A public project has an initial cost of 1 crore 10,000, annual operating cost of 7 lakhs, repair work, one time repair work at the end of year 15 as 20 lakhs, and an alternative interest rate of 12% per year. I know that capitalized cost is given by the sum of the initial cost and the present worth of one-time major repair cost and the capitalized cost of the annual operating and maintenance cost. I know that P is equal to 1 crore 10,000, A is equal to 70,000, and this 20 lakhs occurs after a few years, say at the end of 15th year, so it has to be F. So what is required for me now? I need to convert this A into P and then this F into P. Okay. So first this P will remain as it is, 1 crore 10,000 will remain as it is, that is P. From that I have to deduct minus this 20 lakh to be converted into P. That is the capitalized cost, that is the amount available for me for any future work. That is the meaning of that. Capitalized cost means, see, I have some amount was given to me. From that, if I keep something for the initial purchase, something for the annual maintenance, something for the overhauling later, how much money will remain with me? That is the capitalized cost. Okay. So here 1 crore 10,000 has been kept aside for the initial purchase. 20 lakh has been kept aside for the this one overhauling or major repair work at the end of year 15. Convert that into P using the factor P by F, and then 7 lakh that is the annual operating and maintenance cost, that has to be converted into P. So how do we convert A into P when n tends to infinity? We have already derived that A can be converted into P using the factor 1 by I, that's all. Okay, not the original factor of whatever we had. So it is just 1 by I. So substitute the values from the factor table. I is 0.12 and we get the answer as 171,98733. This is the total capitalized cost. Okay, so this much of cost was available, and this is how I have distributed that for all my work. One crore 71 lakh 98,733 is the total worth of this particular project. From this 1 crore 71 lakh 98,733, I use 1 crore 10,000 for the initial cost, 20 lakh for the major overhaul at the end of year 15, and 77 lakhs for the annual maintenance cost or the operating cost. Now you can have a question, so why we did not take n as infinity in this case? Why did we stop at the end of year 15? Because it gets repeated every 15 years. Since it gets repeated every 15 years, I need not have to consider the 20 lakh at the end of 30, at the end of 45. That's not necessary. So even if I stop that at the end of year 15, I get the same answer. You can check it up. Even if you continue your cash flow diagram up to 30th year, you will get the same answer. Let us take the second example. The initial cost of an infrastructure development project expected to serve residents of a city perpetually, 1 crore 50,000. The annual operating cost of 8 lakhs for the first 10 years and 9 lakhs for the subsequent years starting from year 11 onwards, and then major overhaul or the renovation at the end of every 15 years at 18 lakhs, and the rate of interest is 8%. Let us see how we get the cash flow diagram. The initial component of 1 crore 50 lakhs to to be indicated at t is equal to 0, and then this 8 lakh for the first 10 years, and 9 lakh starting from year 11 onwards. So what I can do is that I can show it as 8 lakhs starting from year 1 till year infinity, and 1 lakh extra starting from year 11 onwards till infinity. This can also be shown like this, and this year 16th need not be shown in the cash flow diagram because the renovation is taking place every 15 years, and if we show the cash flow diagram up to 15th year from when it gets repeated, that should be sufficient. So at the end of year 15 I have a major renovation cost at the cost of 18 lakhs, that also has been shown here. So this is the cash flow diagram. Now I have to convert this into capitalized cost. The major difference between this cash flow diagram and the previous problem is that this additional component. How do I encounter this particular additional component? Let us check. Let us discuss the solution of the cash flow diagram. See, now this particular cash flow diagram has three components. First component is the initial cost, second component is the annual operating cost, and the third component is the renovation cost. There are three different components here. Let us take one by one. First, let me calculate the capitalized cost of the annual operating costs. How is it done? Again, in operating costs, I have two components there. One is with 8 lakhs and another is with 9 lakhs. Okay, what I do is 8 lakh is continuously flowing, and I will take it as 8 lakhs and I will convert that into P. How do I convert that into P? Using this formula, P is equal to A by I. Remember that whenever n tends to infinity, A is getting A will be converted into P using the factor just 1 by I. So that same formula I have used here. So this 8 lakh multiplied by 1 divided by 1 0.08, or 8 lakh divided by I will convert this operating cost of 8 lakh into its P. Okay, and then I have this 1 lakh. 1 lakh divided by I will convert that into P. But where will this P be situated? That is very, very important. Its P will not be situated at t is equal to 0. My intention is to convert everything into P at t is equal to 0. Add that P with the initial cost. Then I will get the total capitalized cost. That's how I am trying to get the total capitalized cost. But this 8 lakh, when I converted that into P, it started from the first year and went up to infinity. So when even if I convert that into P, its P will be situated at t is equal to 0. There is no confusion in that. When it comes to this additional 1 lakh which starts from 11th year onwards, when I convert that A into P, its P will be situated at t is equal to 10 and not at t is equal to 0. So this component, when I make 1 lakh divided by 0.08, this gets converted into P, but that P will be at t is equal to 10. That has to be converted into t is equal to 0 by using the factor P by 8 comma 8 comma P by F comma 8 comma 10. This will convert the additional 1 lakh operating cost into P at t is equal to 0. Substitute the values from the factor tables and we get the answer as 10579,000. Okay, next component is capitalized cost of the renovation component. What was that renovation component? 18 lakhs at the end of year 15. So how do I convert that? 18 lakhs, that is F. That happens every 15 years. So I have already said the project gets repeated every 15 years. There is no need to consider the flow at the end of 15th year, 30th year, 45th year. No. Even if you consider that, it won't make any difference. Okay. So just consider that f and convert that into a using the factor a by f comma 8 comma 15. Now multiply everything by 0.08, that is multiplied by I, in order to convert that into P using this formula. Same formula holds good here as well. So this converts this into the renovation component into its P. Now the total capitalized cost, this is the capitalized cost of 828,000, that is the capitalized cost of the renovation component. What is the total capitalized cost? Total capitalized cost is the initial investment, that is 1,50,000 plus the capitalized cost from the annual operating cost plus the capitalized cost from the renovation component. Add all the three. The summation of these three will be the total capitalized cost. Why is it necessary to convert these into P? Because everything has to be obtained at T is equal to 0. That is the total capitalized cost. Okay. So hence write the answer without forgetting. The total capitalized cost of the infrastructure development project is 26407000. Let us take the next example. There are alternatives, three alternatives are there in this case. Their cash flow, everything is given. Compare the alternatives using the present worth comparison of alternatives. Here we can see that the life is varying. Life is varying 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. In our previous session, we had discussed one example of unequal life. This is the second example. We need to solve this problem using repeated projects method or common multiple method, as well as the study period method for 2 years. Okay. Let us see the solution. The LCM between 3, 4, 6 is 12 years. So with 12 years, plan 1 has 6 years of life, and hence it has to be repeated once. Let us get the cash flow diagram. It should go up to 12th year because LCM is 12 years. So initial cost of 2 lakh and the annual operating cost of 32,000 and annual revenue of 50,000, the salvage value of 25,000. This is the first cycle's cash flow diagram. There is no problem in this. Now what I need to do, I need to repeat this for the second cycle because I have to go up to 12th year because LCM is 12 years. Okay. Now what should I do? I should repeat this project as soon as the first project ends. That means the machine 1 which started at t is equal to 0 goes up to t is equal to 6. So as soon as the first machine stops working, the second machine starts working. When should I reinvest that? I should reinvest that at exactly at the end of year 6, like this. Once I reinvest the machine, what will happen? Its operating cost will come, its annual revenue will come, and its salvage value will also appear. It is as same as copy paste. Is that point clear? So this is what we mean by repeated projects method. So don't start that from year 7. It is wrong, because if you start from year 7, the question will be what the machine was doing from year 6 to 7. Was it not working? It should work. That's why as soon as machine 1 stops, the repeated machine 2 should start and continue its work up to 12th year. Other things are very simple. Let us solve it. This is already P. 2 lakh, it's already P. Retain it as P. Then this 32,000. Just check whether it flows continuously starting from first year till 12th year. Yes, we can see that it starts from first year and goes up to 12th year. And P by A comma 7 comma 12. Then this 20,000, sorry, I mean to say 2 lakh, that is the second repeated factor. It is P, its P should be calculated using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 6. So this is over, this is over, this is over. All the costs are over. Now let us come to the benefits. First 50,000, that is also flowing from first year till 12th year. So P by A comma 7 comma 12 can be directly taken. So this 50,000 is over. Next is this 25,000. What is this? This is a future money. Convert that into present worth at t is equal to 0 using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 6. So that is done. What else remains? This 25,000, that is the salvage value for the second cycle. So where is it? It is at t is equal to 12. Convert that into P at t is equal to 0 using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 12. You will get the answer as minus 162,528. Let us go to plan 2. Plan 2, it has 3 years of life. So it has to be repeated thrice. First, draw the horizontal line up to 12th year. So initial purchase cost of 8 lakhs, annual operating cost of 7,000 because it has a useful life of 3 years only, and annual revenue of rupees 1,25,000 and a salvage value of 2 lakh rupees. This is the cash flow diagram of the first cycle. Now what I need to do, I need to repeat this till I reach 12. What does that mean? It has to be repeated once, twice, thrice. That's what I have written here. It has to be repeated thrice. Okay. Now this machine stops at the end of year 3 and another machine will start at the end of year 3. How? Like this. Once it starts, its operating costs, its revenue, salvage value, everything will come into picture. The second machine stops at the end of year 6 and the third machine will start, and its third machine will have its operating value and its revenue. The third machine stops at the end of year 9 and it is reinvested, and once it gets reinvested, its operating cost, everything starts coming, and it will have its salvage value at the end of year 12. So first machine will have the salvage value at the end of year 3, second cycle at the end of year 6, third cycle at the end of year 9, and the fourth cycle at the end of year 12. So second plan will have 4 cycles. First plan had 2 cycles, second plan will have 4 cycles in order to make it equal to LCM. Since I reached LCM of 12, stop. There is no further repetition required. Solve it. 8 lakh will remain as it is. This 7,000 flows continuously. Convert that into P using P by A, and then take one by one. This P is over, this A1 is over, then this P at the end of year 3, use the factor P by F comma 7 comma 3. This is over. This is at the end of year 6. Convert this into P by using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 6. Even though I have written P here, this is P for the respective cycles, but actually at t for t is equal to 0, they are all F. So I have to convert that into P at t is equal to 0. That's why I have used the factor P by F comma 7 comma 6. Okay. Uh, so now this P, that is the invested amount for the last cycle, that is F for t is equal to 0. That's why convert that into P by using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 9. So this is also over. So all these are over. Then come to the benefits. First, A2, it flows from year 1 till year 12. So using the factor P by A comma 7 comma 12, convert that into P. Next, again these salvage values, 2 lakh, convert that into P using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 3. This P by F comma 7 comma 6, P by F comma 7 comma 9, and last one P by F comma 7 comma 12. For these three, what you can do, since there is positive 2 lakh and negative 8 lakh, you can straight away use 6 lakh and using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 3, that can also be used. If in order to avoid confusion, I have taken individual costs, but I can also use 6 lakhs multiplied by P by F comma 7 comma 3, 6 lakhs multiplied by P by F comma 7 comma 6, 6 lakhs multiplied by P by F comma 7 comma 9 can also be used for these three, since there is a simultaneous positive as well as negative flows. I can get the net value and then convert that into its P. That's also quite possible. Substitute the values from factor tables and you will get the answer as 1067846. Of course, it's also cost. And the last option, it has a total useful life of 4 years, so it has to be repeated twice. First, let us see the first cycle's cash flow diagram. It has an initial cost of 10 lakh, annual operating cost of 5,000, annual revenue of 1,50,000, and the salvage value of 2,50,000. Okay, now copy paste it for the second cycle. So as soon as the first machine stops working at year 4, the second machine starts working at the year 4 itself. So once it starts working, its operating costs, revenue, and the salvage value will appear. The second machine stops at year 8, the third machine again immediately starts at year 8 like this. Its operating cost, revenue, and salvage value will follow. So copy paste 3 times. Okay. So it has to be repeated twice and it will have 3 cycles. Now convert everything into its P. 10 lakh, it's already P, there is no further conversion required. This 10 lakh, it is at the end of year 4, convert using P by F comma 7 comma 4. This is done. This is at the end of year 8, P by F comma 7 comma 8, it is done. Then 5,000, it is flowing all through these 12 years, P by A comma 7 comma 12, that is done. Then come to revenues, A to 1,50,000 multiplied by P by A comma 7 comma 12, because it is A flowing for all the 12 years, so use the factor P by A comma 7 comma 12, that is done. Then this 2.5 lakhs first cycle salvage value at the end of year 4, use the factor P by F comma 7 comma 4. Next salvage value, convert that into P using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 8. The last salvage value, convert that into P using the factor P by F comma 7 comma 12. So that is also done. So I have taken a common factor 2,50,000 as the common factor and used the factors like this. Instead of using the 2,50,000 for every factor, I have taken the common factor here as well as for the cost. You can use that and get the values from the factor tables. You will get the answer as 7,45,940. And from the answers we can get see that NPW1 has the least cost and hence plan 1 is selected. Using this study period method, how do I solve using this study period method? Study period of 2 years. 2 years means the entire project is assumed to end at the year 2. That's how it is done. Okay, so the revised cash flow diagram appears like this. See here, whatever I may have after year 2, they are all neglected. They are not at all considered. See, they do not appear in the cash flow diagram at all. Only any cash flows that is up to second year, they are considered. So I have the initial cash, operating cost of 32,000, revenue of 50,000. I may have the salvage value, I may have the further cash flow of income as well as the cost. Those things are neglected. So the entire project is assumed to have ended at year 2. Okay, let me calculate the net present worth of this particular cash flow diagram. 2 lakh, it's already P, there is no need for further conversion, it is done. 32,000, it is A for 2 years, convert that into P using the factor P by A comma 7 comma 2. This is 50,000, convert that into P by using the factor P by A comma 7 comma 2, and you will get it as 167456. Let us go to second project. It has the initial cost of 8 lakh, operating cost of 7,000, and the annual revenue of 1,25,000. How do I convert that? Same thing, 8 lakh, there is no need for further conversion. Convert this 7,000 into its P by using the factor P by A comma 7 comma 2. 1,25,000 by using the factor P by A comma 7 comma 2. Substitute the values, you get the answer as 586,656. Let us take the plan 3 cash flow diagram. Initial investment of 10 lakh, annual revenue of 1,50,000, and the annual operating cost of rupees 5,000. Here also I assume the entire project to end at the year 2. Whatever I have after year 2, they are all neglected. Okay, they are not discounted. Remember here, they are not discounted, they are outrightly neglected. Let us get the solution. Minus 10 lakh minus 5,000 multiplied by P by A comma 7 comma 2, and plus 1,50,000 multiplied by P by A comma 7 comma 2, and its answer is 737,840. And which is better? Even here also I see that plan 1 is preferred because of the least cost. So this is how a study period method is engaged. Whatever may be the study period given, maybe 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or whatever the value given, I assume that the entire project ends at that year and the cash flow diagram is truncated to that particular year, and any cash flow that flows after the study period, they are all neglected. Remember, I am not getting the discounted value, I am outrightly deleting them from my calculation, and thereby I complete the cash flow diagram and complete my calculations. This is how a study period method is done.